financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is I'm hurting, what to do. Before we do that, let's introduce our panel. Jim Simaska, good to have you back on the show.
It's great to be here.
How's your brother Pat? Everything good?
He's doing good. He just got back from his vacation. He went to visit his daughter in Australia.
Oh, very nice. Jeffrey Kirshner, good to have you again, as always.
Thanks to be here. I love being here.
We're going to be focusing on you today. I'm hurting, what to do. You're the hurting guy.
I'm warmed up and I feel good, so I'm not hurting.
And then Brian Small, my cohort in crime. You're always hurting me.
I'm always hurting you?
No, I'm just kidding you. Everything good?
Everything is wonderful.
All right, let's get to the heart of the material. Okay, I'm hurting, what to do. This is focusing on the whole issue of, we're going to illustrate how if you're in a disability situation, disability by definition means you've taken a hit on your income. It has a debt impact on you. So I'm going to combine Jeffrey's analysis of a disability claim with Brian coming in as to how to help the person from a debt side. Jeffrey helps them from the standpoint of how do you get disability income and benefits if you qualify. Before we get there, I just got a quick little article I saw in Bloomberg.com, mapping the growth of disability claims in America. And what it says, in 1990, fewer than 2.5% of the working age Americans were on disability benefits from Social Security, whereas by 2015 the number stood at 5.2%. The essence of the article, Jeffrey, was saying that we have an aging workforce coupled with areas in the country where employment slumps, disability claims rise. Does that make sense to you?
It makes perfect sense. We have a population that is getting older, but people are still insisting on working, which is a great thing. Costs are going up. People need to work. People are healthier, living longer these days. They want to work, but as with an aging population, people develop problems. They get sick. They don't recover as well with regard to injuries. They have a tendency to get injured. So you've got a combination of people who are developing disabilities, whether it be physical or emotional. On the same time, you have an issue with regard to our economy. A couple things. One is jobs are moving. Jobs, for instance, in Michigan, the auto industry took a hit with jobs moving to Tennessee and other places where there's cheaper labor, or in Mexico or things of that nature. Combine that with the fact that a lot of automated jobs or a lot of jobs that like an auto industry are now becoming automated. So now you have robots taking the place of human beings, and now human beings are without jobs.
All right, so the situation is there. I guess on the aging workforce, it means we've got more people in the area between 40 and 62 where they could, before Social Security income comes in, that are the aging workforce that are getting injured, is probably what they're saying. And that creates a greater strain on the Social Security disability system.
Certainly, and certainly the people when you start hitting age 50 to 62, that is even growing population.
Well, I think also part of it would be, remember, if you went in the 1950s, workforce was smaller, even though...
Smaller and younger.
And younger, and now you have a lot of two household incomes instead of one household incomes, which changes the population seeking disability.
Absolutely. Let me give you the case study and the facts, and then we'll start analyzing it. I'm your disability guy, okay? I'm age 50. I injured my back several years ago. It's progressed to the point where I have not worked in the last year, so I've been out of work. I've been a W-2 employee up to that time. I was a tool maker for 30 years. I was earning, before I became disabled, $75,000 a year. I'm married. My wife is a homemaker. I've got two grown children. I've now been disabled for a year. I'm not working. I've got credit card debt maxed out at $85,000. I maxed my credit cards out during this year where I haven't been working. I have a house that's worth $150,000. I have a mortgage on it of $125,000. I have medical bills of about $15,000. I have an IRA of $250,000 that I'm trying to hang on to. My wife, Mary, has gone back to work because I can't, and she's now making $35,000 a year. So instead of making $75,000 a year, I'm making $35,000 a year going forward for my family. I'm not going back to work as far as my doctors are telling me. I'm here to see you, Jeffrey, to say, am I eligible for Social Security disability? What do I do?
I believe you are. There's, first of all, 2 different Social Security benefits. Let's eliminate SSI, or Supplemental Security Income. First of all, because your assets are too great, you're a married couple, you exceed the $3,000 threshold. So SSI is not an issue, but that's fine. The better of the 2 benefits is Social Security.
I get more money on
disability.
SSD anyway.
Correct,
right?
because that's based on your earnings. So absolutely, a couple things you look at is how long did you work, how long have you been off of work. With regard to Social Security disability, in order to have what's called insured status, in order to get benefits, you have to be disabled at a period of time where you can look back over the past 10 years.
I worked 5 days a week for 30 years straight, except for a 2-week vacation every year until I became disabled. That's why I can't stand anymore, because I worked so long.
Right. So you meet that threshold of having worked at least 5 of the past 10 years or 20 of the past 40 quarters. So you satisfy that criteria. Second of all, you are unable to work, and then now it's been 12 months or longer, which is the criteria. Either you're disabled for 12 months or longer,
All right, so I can't work. Okay.
Right.
How do I get my money? What do I do? Do I submit an application? We're coming up to a break in a minute. Give me what do I do to get the money? Because I've gone a year now, and I don't want to take out all my IRA. What do I do?
First, we start with an initial application. You have to do an initial application either at the Social Security Administration or online, and I do that with all my clients. They come to my office, and I do it on the computer. Is you start the process by filing an initial application.
All right. So does that take a lot of time to do that, or is it pretty quick?
It takes about an hour and a half. It's getting a little bit more complicated these days.
Do you need all the medical records to file the application?
You don't need the records, but you do need the names and addresses of your doctors. You need your job history over the past 15 years. You need your medication list. So you need all that kind of information.
All right, so I come in, my situation, we fill out the form together online, you submit the application.
Correct.
Now, am I going to get approved?
More likely than not, you are not going to get approved. A very small percentage.
Wait a second. I haven't worked in a year. My doctor says I can't work. I got $75,000 income that I've lost, and you're saying I submit the application, I'm going to get denied initially? After the break, explain to me how we fix that problem.
It's devastating, the effects of debt and foreclosure on you and your family. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem. Some fear the word bankruptcy, but in reality, it's a strategy to save your home and to eliminate debt. If you're in financial trouble, timing is critical. You need to take action now. We've been saving homes and eliminating debt for over 33 years.
Call Fav Gross 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Fav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Fav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Simasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Simasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Fav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients.
You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, welcome back. So, Jeffrey, I filed my disability claim with you, and now I'm getting denied. I haven't worked in a year. I can't work. The doctor says I can't work. What is it? Why do they deny me? This is what we call BS.
It is. And absent really a life-threatening illness, such as a cancer with a poor prognosis or permanent paralysis, most people these days are getting denied at the initial stage. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I think the government is trying to save money. I think there's an edict from on high.
I'm shocked.
I know,
I'm
it's
shocked.
shocking that the government would want to save money and not pay benefits, but the reality is that's what's going on. And these days,
So what do I do?
There's an abundance of claims, they are understaffed, and there's a hiring freeze right now, so it's becoming more difficult. So what happens is you get the love letter from Social Security, usually about 60, 90 days from your initial application, saying you were denied. You have then 60 days from that date to file what's called a disability appeal or a request for hearing.
Obviously, we're going to do that.
So I will do that right away for you. You've already met with me. We've already done the first thing. I have all the information I need. We will go ahead and we will file that appeal.
Then what will happen?
Well, what will happen now is the national average now is it's taking a little over 17.5 months from when you ask for a hearing until you get a hearing. Although, believe it or not,
17.5 months.
Yes. In Michigan, though, the local offices here in Livonia, Oak Park, Detroit, actually a little bit lower than the national average. They're about, I'd say the average between the three, it's about 14 to 15 months.
Oh,
That's how long
great.
it's-
So I only have to wait another 14 months to get my hearing.
Right. And then that's when
I'm
you
so
have
happy.
Right. So that's when you have a hearing.
You know what? I'm hungry is the problem.
You are hungry and you are desperate. And
You know what you didn't say was it's 14, 15, 17 months. You didn't say that after the hearing you get a check the next day.
That's the next
How much
issue
longer
now.
do we have to go?
That's the next issue. So now once you have a hearing, it's going to take you another 45 to 60 days to get a formal decision from the administrative law judge.
And then?
And if you win that case, you're looking at another 30 to 60 days for them to send it to what's called the benefits department, in which they process your claim to figure out what your past due benefit is, as well as what your future monthly amount is.
So 60,
21
and
months.
14 months.
Yes.
21 months from the
Inception.
initial-
Or from the inception?
Right.
All right, so we got a long way to go. And then I'll get all the money back?
Well, you are.
Oh, wait, am I going to win?
Well, if
I'm
you,
disabled.
If you hire an attorney, you've got a better opportunity of winning, but
How much am I going to get?
Well, it all
based
depends.
on 75,000. Will I get like 2,200 a month? What am I going to get?
a drop over, based on that amount of money, about $2,200, maybe a drop over $2,200 a month in Social Security disability benefits.
What's the maximum benefit you could ever
Well, the maximum benefit is about $2,800 these days. $2,900. And actually, when you are disabled from the date they found you to be disabled, after 30 months, you are entitled to Medicare. So there is some benefit after a while. And with regard to benefits, the law states for Social Security disability is you can recapture disability benefits up to a maximum of 1 year prior to the date of your initial filing. So there's up to a 1 year reach back for any past due benefits.
All right, so let me summarize. I'm going to have this 21-month delay period before I get the money, so it would have been smart for me to have applied. I shouldn't have waited a year to apply if the doctor's telling me I'm not going back to work. We could have applied earlier, right?
Should have applied maybe, I would say, 6 months or so, because you could get on benefits as long as when they look at your case, if you haven't been off for 12 months, if the anticipated duration of your disability will be 12 months or longer, then they can approve you for
But
that.
either way, I'm going to have this delay. It's just part of the process.
There is a delay, but you should start sooner than later, especially since if you wait too long, if you wait over a year to start the process, well, then you've given up some benefits, because again, you get that 1 year reach back.
So whatever it is, from the time you're actually disabled, you don't want to wait longer than a year. But if once you're disabled, get the process going if the doctor says you're not going back to the work.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now I'm going to get $2,200 a month. But here's my problem. Brian, Jeffrey, together, Jim, I was making $75,000 a year. now I'm making 20. I'm making 20. I'm going to get $2,200 a month for the disability. Mary's working, making $35,000. She's making $29.16 a month. So the most I have coming in once I get this disability is around, you know, $5,000 a month. Before I was making a lot more money. I've got $85,000 in credit card debt. I've got medical bills. I've got my mortgage payment. Brian, what do I do? And does this disability income affect my ability? Can I file a bankruptcy? Can I keep my IRA? What do I do so that at the bottom line is I'm not going back to work? My wife's not going to all of a sudden start making $150,000 a year. I have to have more money coming in the month than going out, or I'm going to be on the street and I'm going to lose my home. And the fact that I have to wait 21 months to get the disability does not make me happy, Mr. Kirschner. I want you to know that. I'm not happy about that.
I have a question. Will the Social Security Ken's a smart guy. Will Social Security train him to do a different job?
Social Security does not provide any type of vocational training.
Doesn't that make sense to spend 20 grand training him so he doesn't get
you would think so, but under Social Security regulations, the two provisions are: one, the wage loss benefits, and number two, after 30 months of being disabled, Medicare. There are no provisions for any other type of training, for any other type of emergency resources, for housing or anything else.
If they retrained me to do a different job, would I then not get I probably wouldn't get the disability income then.
Yeah, but then you'd be making your $75,000 a year.
Yes, it would be better for the government too.
And society in general.
That's good. Brian, back to me. All right, I'm waiting 24 months.
What you shouldn't do is tap your IRA to be paying your credit card bills and any other liabilities other than your house payment. Well, you have to get develop a strategy right away to deal with maintaining the assets that you have and eliminating the debt that you owe.
I'm going to look
at Bill and Mary. I'm going to file a Chapter 7 for Bill.
Before you do that, let me lay it on the chart so everybody can see on the TV. I've got $2,000 of cash. I have a house worth $150. I got an IRA of $250. I got $10,000 in personal property. My assets total $412,000. I have a mortgage of $125, credit cards of $85, medical bills $15, liabilities of $225. My net worth is $187,000. I got $29.16 coming in from Mary, and that's it. After the break, you need to solve my problem or I'm going down with the ship.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you're approaching retirement and don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your investments, and your savings. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Putting a solid strategy in place with Simasko Law legally protects your assets as well as your wishes. Since a will doesn't cover you medically or financially, Simasko Law goes beyond ordinary asset management protection to safeguard everything you have.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Simasko Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Let's do announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us Tuesdays noon to 1, 6 to 7 p.m. Law and Reality Live on WCHB 1200 99.9 FM. Thursdays 3 to 4 Law and Reality Now with Cliff Russell on 910 a.m. We've got seminars coming up on Wednesday, May 24th, 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. There's no better way to enjoy the summer than to become debt-free. We're going to focus on all the systems and methods we use to preserve future income for you and your family. The best way to do that, in my view, is you've got to eliminate the debt, and then that way you can take the money you were spending on making your credit card payments and you can start saving that for your future into retirement. Attendees also get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Sign up at lawandreality.com, thavgross.com, or the old-fashioned way, call 888-235-HELP. Then on Wednesday, June 7th, from 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m., we have a senior care seminar called I'm 55, my parents are 80, what do I need to know? We're going to focus on estate planning for middle-aged individuals. Plus, if you're in your 50s, what about your mom and dad who are in their 80s and 90s? You need to plan for them in case they need nursing care. You need to know the rules for Medicaid planning. There's a lot of information you need to know. Pat Simasko from Simasko Law is going to join us to go over elder law issues. Brian's going to talk about debt issues. I'm going to talk about the basic estate planning issues. Sign up at lawandreality.com, thavgross.com, or call 888-235-HELP. I want to remind our viewers you can always sign up for a free consultation at Thav Gross. If you need assistance with any area that we talk about on the show, financial issues, debt issues, workers' comp, disabilities issues with Jeffrey Kirshner, elder law issues with Pat Simasko, tax issues with Jenny Lingo, just go on the website, request a free consultation, and then we'll call you and set an appointment. Or you're always welcome to just call 888-235-HELP. I want to thank our sponsors, Thav Gross, Simasko Law, and Jeffrey Kirshner, Kirshner Law. We'll be back.
It's devastating, the effects of debt and foreclosure on you and your family. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem. Some fear the word bankruptcy, but in reality, it's a strategy to save your home and to eliminate debt. If you're in financial trouble, timing is critical. You need to take action now. We've been saving homes and eliminating debt for over 33 years.
Call Thav Gross, 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so Brian, my net worth you have. Here's my income situation. I've got $29,616 coming in. My mortgage is $950. Credit cards $2125 on that $85,000 of credit cards. I've been chipping away at the medical bills, $500 a month. My car payment's $375. The rest of my household expenses, food, everything else, utilities, gas, $2,500 a month. My total outlay is about $59.50 a month. I'm negative $3,000 a month right now. What do I do? And Jeffrey's telling me I'm going to succeed on getting this $2,200 a month because I am disabled, but it's going to take 21 months before I see the money. I'm in a pickle.
Okay, so the typical scene that I see is people come in to see me, and what they're doing is they're continuing to pay their credit card bills, and they're continuing to pay all of their other debts. And what happens is, where are they getting that money from? So usually they'll go and dip into their IRA. Now, it may be something that they want to do, but the reality is that they shouldn't do it. Where should you dip into your IRA? Well, look at what's going out. If you look at the credit card expense of $2,125, if you remove that, you're bringing in, what, $3,000? I don't remember what the monthly income was, but you're bringing in, like, say, $2,916 a month. And then if you could eliminate $2,125 a month in credit card debt and just stop paying it. How do I do that? Then if you have to go dip into your IRA to survive until you get your retroactive check plus your ongoing payments, then at least you're dipping in and taking the minimum amount necessary to survive for that 21 months, not foolishly taking an extra $2,125.
So don't touch so don't use the money to pay the credit cards.
Never. In fact, stop paying the credit cards.
can't we just file a bankruptcy now?
Well, you can file a bankruptcy now, but it's a strategic decision about when you're going to file bankruptcy. Recognize that
First of all, am I eligible to file bankruptcy anyway?
Yes.
And I get to keep my IRA?
Yes.
Because IRAs are excluded.
100%.
All right, so it's just a question of when.
And the when comes down to the fact that
As
you
Bobby Kennedy would say, if not now, when?
Well, when is, again, a strategy. You're going to be incurring additional medical bills. Maybe they're covered, maybe they're not covered by your health insurance. These days, people have $7,500 deductibles that they still have to pay. Well, you incur $7,500 worth of additional unpaid medical expenses over the next year or 2 years. You can get rid of them at the end, right before you get your check from Social Security. You file your bankruptcy.
So I wait till before I get the check, and then I get the Social Security check, which is going to be a lot of money because.
And you get to keep all of it.
Okay, I like that. All right, so if I do that, it doesn't mess up your means test thing that you talk about on the show all the time. You always talk about if you've got too much money coming in. What about this big chunk of money?
Well, remember that Mary's income is only $35,000 a year.
But if you add in the Social Security
you don't
amount,
have the Social Security income yet. You get it. You're getting it down the road.
So as long as I filed before, even if I filed after Social Security, does that count towards the means test?
So let's assume that you filed. You got your Social Security benefits, you got the lump sum, and slowly it's gone. And now you've still got all this debt, and you need to file a bankruptcy. Social Security income does not count
whether it's
towards
disability
the means
or
test.
Income.
Doesn't matter. Social Security
so
income
either
is not
way,
part
I
of the
can
means test.
file.
Absolutely.
All right, great. So here's what it comes down to: is if I do file, I'm going to get rid of all the credit card debt. Once I've got the Social Security disability coming in from Jeffrey, I got $2,200 coming in there. I got $29 coming in from Mary. I got $5,000 coming in. Going out, I got a mortgage of $950, 0 credit card debt, 0 medical bills, $375 lease payment, the same $2,500 of expenses. My outgoing is $3,825. Now I'm suddenly positive $1,291 a month. I can make it.
Yes.
I'm not living high off the hog, but I at least can keep my house, pay my bills, make the car payment, and have food to live.
The key important point here, though, is that it's important to file the bankruptcy before you receive the Social Security benefit, because if you received it afterwards, there may be a time limit of when you can file because you got too much money in the bank.
Got it. So here's 10-second wrap-up. Disability, debt resolution, issues together. Disability supplements the income so I can survive. I use bankruptcy to get rid of all the debts, and it puts me cash positive so I can go on with my life. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.